Hello, 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 everyone. I'm still at the New York Film Festival. I'm still watching movies, and I'm still gonna say blah, blah, blah. Triangle of Sadness is the latest film written and directed by Ruben Ostlund, the director of 2014's Force Majeure, which was adapted into a soulless American remake aptly titled Downhill. And he also directed the 2017 film The Square, which won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Triangle of Sadness also won the Palme d'Or, making him a two-time winner. And I think out of the two films, this one probably deserved it more than that one. I've gathered that there's a growing contingent of people, since it played at Cannes, that may think that it's a little overrated and not subtle enough, but honestly, I think that's bullshit. Not because I think Triangle of Sadness is actually subtle, but because I personally believe films about class consciousness should not be subtle. They should be blunt force trauma to the face. I think the approach or feeling that films about class consciousness should be subtle is not only low-key elitist, it's quite cowardly. The injustice that is the economic framework of the West, aka capitalism, and its influence all over the world is a continuing, ever-present, and existential threat to all of our lives, ranging from poverty to the criminal justice system to healthcare to race and climate change. It's everywhere and everything all of the time, and telling society that we should completely upend our social and economic framework to make it better for everyone with a cutesy and coy presentation is not just irresponsible, it's fucking lame. As far as the question of subtlety goes in general, I don't personally care whether a film is subtle or not, because I've had great value from films on both sides of the spectrum, but to criticize one way over the other based on principle is really stupid, and I see it in film criticism a lot, and I think it's annoying. Now, all of that sounds pretty serious, but I can assure you, Triangle of Sadness is not nearly as self-serious as I appear to be. Actually, it's one of the funniest movies of the entire year, and its approach to comedy hits you at all different angles, whether it's the performances and the tone that they take, or it's the dialogue and the way it repeats itself. Not repetition for the sake of it, but it's funny and it's making a point at the same time because of the repetition. There's slapstick, dramatic irony, and straight ad hominem toward rich people scattered throughout. Triangle of Sadness feels like a feast of comedy. This film is told in 3 separate chapters. You get it? 3, triangle, do you get it? Anyway, it's kind of weird that it's separated in chapters because the film isn't an anthology. Each chapter story-wise and thematically carries over into the next one and builds upon it. I'm not saying it's a flaw or anything, I'm not Logan Paul, but I think it's worth mentioning, that's all. The performances are all excellent, including Harris Dickinson, who I saw in 2017's Beach Rats. Woody Harrelson looks like he's having the most fun in front of the camera in his whole career, which is saying something, given the fact that most of his body of work is filled with happy-go-lucky, fun characters. If you see Woody Harrelson in a film or a television show, there's a 99% chance he's the one who's having the most fun. Donnie DeLeon is having a moment right now similar to Troy Kotsur, who won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for Coda earlier this year, and the late Charlize Dean's final performance progresses into something layered and full of depth, considering the fact that where her character starts from is a pretty shallow place. Now, this was supposed to be her breakout role. She had starred in a lot of films before this, but this was like the biggest thing that she had ever done, and it's really sad that she passed away so young. I don't want to say too much because I think this film should be experienced, and good for you because Triangle of Sadness starts its theatrical run this weekend, so go out and see it as soon as you can. I guarantee you'll have one of the best movie-going experiences you'll have all year. Also, I want to say that this has the most realistic looking vomit I have ever seen in a movie. It's a real pet peeve of mine whenever I see someone puke and the velocity isn't fast enough, it's not chunky enough, and it doesn't come out in waves or anything like that when you normally vomit in real life. It usually feels like they just put some liquid bullshit in their mouths and they just spit it out. With this film, you don't have to worry about that at all. It looks amazing. And there were people all around me in the audience who were like covering their mouths because it looked so real. And I think in a positive way, the presentation of the vomit is a good representation of the quality of this film. And I'm giving giving Triangle of Sadness an 8 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you agree or disagree, tell us in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share with your friends. Do all the things. The next film I'm talking about is Claire Denis' Stars at Noon, which won the Grand Prix at Cannes, and I have a take. Bye-bye!
You have to get past the Avengers and Marvel shit at some point, okay? Other people make movies.